Auto work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durgertime. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Billy Corgan's NWA. We are here for Into the Fire, rounding off 2019 and hopefully moving into the new year, to Hard Times and then further on. Now, in the last episode, what we did was we went through our schedule. We added Hard Times to it as well as some other shows, and we got YouTube Red as our pay-per-view subscription contract. Now, with that, well, unfortunately, we're going to have some situations where we're going to have a few more shows. They want 12 shows. So they basically want one a month, which we're not really set to do. But we could probably get away with some stuff, maybe just some hour broadcasts here and there. So I'm thinking we might do like an hour-long pay-per-view once a month, or maybe a couple of shows a month. You know, I'm thinking of maybe breaking the Crockett Cup show into like a 3-parter, Contest of Champions maybe as a 2-parter, that kind of thing. That might give us some ability to kind of deal with it. We will get penalized if we do not do that, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. We'll deal with it. I mean, we could always cram a bunch of events in if we need to. Not the end of the world. We do have money issues in terms of making a consistent loss right now, but we knew that. We know we're going to be eating that 1 million capital, and that just is what it's going to be, and we're going to use that to invest wisely. And I think I've been pretty good. I've not splurged on people. We've been keeping relatively clean roster here. There's more people here that I think I should use more often, and I think we will do that. But for the most part, we've kept the hiring a little bit under control, which was my problem earlier on in the show here. If you remember from season 1, I think I got a little carried away with the roster, and it kind of bit us in the ass afterwards, right? So we're not going to do that. We're going to focus a little bit more on maintaining it. But we do have a show. It's going to build up a lot of our story here Into the Fire. Main event obviously is Tim Storm versus Nick Aldis in a steel cage for the world's title, as well as some other stuff going on, and it's gonna be pretty fun. We did also have the Von Erichs in the last show defeating the Wild Cards and winning the our tag team belts. So we have the tag teams here. It's an alliance title. So if we go in here, you can see we do have the Von Erichs are our Alliance Heritage Tag title, which is cool. It's going to be floating around, and that'll give them some ability to kind of move around to different shows potentially. And Eddie Edwards is currently the National Heavyweight, which is our Alliance title as well. It's sort of a main event title. We do have him on for a loan. We might get him on the show tonight. And honestly, I'm thinking of maybe taking it off of him because I'm greedy and I kind of want somebody on our show to have the belt. We will see who that will be. But I think it would be kind of fun to maybe do something like that. So let's go ahead. Let's fast forward. Let's get Into the Fire, and let's book ourselves a pay-per-view. What do you guys say? All right, we've been stopped, presumably because of these notifications. Let's go ahead and see what we have. Contract negotiations with Nick Icarus here. We just extended his contract, and he's fine with it, so that's perfect. Probably the only thing going on here. We have one more month for Bram here, for Tom Latimer. I think we're going to keep him along. What are we currently? He's currently makes $1,000 a show. I'm fine with that if he'll just take the same contract. He's wrestling elsewhere, but only in one other place. There's no real reason that he's going to refuse it. Also, we do have that divorce, so sorry, Aldis. That's rough. That's a bummer. But wait, Well, we don't have Mickie James on the roster, so thankfully that's not there. Let's see what we got. Hansen also 1 month of contract ending. We should try to lock him back in. Currently makes $600 per show. We can up it to $700 just to try to keep him along. That's not a big deal. Are we? We are ready for the show. So let's go ahead and let's move on to Into the Fire. See what we look like here. Now, presumably, we should be able to select a red here. Yep. So this will be our first pay-per-view subscription. It'll be interesting to see where we fall in here. We are expecting 2,600 people. How many people do we have set for the? You know what? We're gonna still do it in the studio. We're gonna lose some potential fans, but we'll sell it out, and that will not be a bad thing for us. Again, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure we get a bonus for a sellout, like a little bit extra momentum into the show. I think the workers actually work better if it's a sellout because they're like, oh, I have a full crowd to work for. So can be helpful to us, right? We do have a locker room incident. Let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Uh-oh. There's a couple in here. All right. Latmere was antagonizing Mike Posey so much that a fight broke out and they had to be pulled apart. Jeez. Give a stern warning. He's got worse from it, and Mike Posey's unhappy. Yeah. Nick Aldis is antagonizing so much that a fight broke out. All right. Well, we can't make Nick Aldis upset, so we're going to fine Kingston. He's improved. Eddie's happy, and Nick Aldis is pleased. We probably should have done that the first time, too. I don't know why I bothered with a stern warning. Let's go ahead and medal. I'm still going to try to build like a protege for Brian Pillman. Nick Aldis. Nothing. Yeah, we don't really have any notable relationships. We're going to build that up. Our backstage rating's a little low. I mean, ideally, we want it at 100, but we're not going to have that anytime soon. So that is what it is, I suppose. All right, let's go ahead and let's book it. We have a 2-hour pay-per-view. Shouldn't be too difficult. And hopefully, I didn't take a look. Yeah, Eddie's not absent, so we should be able to get our heritage title on this show, which could be fun, too. Maybe we'll crown a champion for our Alliance title and take it from Eddie. See you guys on Flip. All right, guys. So this is a weird one. I think I got almost everybody on the roster on this show, with the exception of a few people. So we still had 5 minutes to spare, but I think we did pretty okay. Let's go ahead and check out Into the Fire. So we started off with a tag team women's division match. I just want to get them on the roster, get them some eyes on them, maybe build some popularity. Our women's division's weak, and we have some people that are talented. We have Kimberly and Ashley Vox, and Marty Bell has some skill set as well. Actually, Nicole Matthews actually did really well here. And overall, despite it getting a D, it does pretty well. We show off to a strong start, got the crowd hotter. Ashley's improving her technical skills, and Marty's 22, Kimberly's 37, 26, 41. Ashley's lower, but she is a young lion. She can improve very quickly. Not bad. Not a bad way to start the show, honestly. We had 2,000 people at the Power Studio, so we did sell out, which is good. And we start off the show after that with a very large battle royal, 10-man, and this is for the shot tonight to fight for the NWA Alliance National Heritage title. It's not great, actually. It does a lot worse than I thought it would, but we got a big grab bag of people, all in a battle royal together. Final four are Eddie Kingston, Aaron Stevens, Colt Cabana, and oh, that's weird. Oh, there it is. Eli Drake, Eddie Kingston, Aaron Stevens, and Colt Cabana. Eddie Kingston was the final elimination, and Eli Drake did win the contest. Kingston got the most eliminations over the course of the match. King, Cabana, Homicide, Trevor, all really off their game. I had this as a work the crowd match. I didn't think the women's match was going to go as well as it did. So it kind of got some penalties here, and it's kind of concerning that all these guys were so off their game. I might rip into them a little bit and see what happens after that. Afterwards, David Marquez comes out. Eli Drake comes to the booth. Marquez says, like, hey, listen, you're going to be fighting for the championship tonight. How do you feel about it? And Drake's like, I'm ready. I've always been ready. This is my opportunity to really show people, my star power. And I think after tonight, the NWA will be unable to recognize my skill. It does pretty well. Got the commentary, gave it a boost. Eli Drake came across really well. The angle got the crowd hotter. David Marquez actually was a little weak here, which is a shame. But overall, not bad. We go to a tag team match with it's just an exhibition matches, not for the championships, because the Von Erichs are the Alliance Tag Team champions, but they just won the previous night, so we're not going to give them a unfair fight where they have to face the bout already. But it does pretty okay. It's decent wrestling. Didn't have much heat. The Ascension do defeat the Von Erichs in 6 minutes after Ross Van Erich was counted out while fighting Connor outside. So it's kind of a indecisive win here. Got the crowd buzzing. Josephus was at ringside for the Ascension and did really good work. Connor got a 45, Victor got a 44, and Von Erichs got 38s respectively. And both of their storylines advance. Not bad. It's all right. We have another tag match, the War Machine versus Villain Enterprises for the NWA tag titles. This match actually does significantly worse than the previous one, which is kind of surprising, to be honest. It's a poor match. Villain Enterprise defeats War Machine in 10 minutes when PCO defeated Hansen by pinfall by using the ropes for leverage. Villain Enterprise win the NWA World Tag Team titles. PCO was tiring. It was a little too long. 2 crazy matches in quick succession didn't really work. I probably paced those a little poorly. Rowe had a 34, Hansen had a 38, PCO had a 41, and Brody had a 36. It's not bad, but it does mean that Villain Enterprise does have some gold to their name now. And War Machine have been defeated, if not a little bit of a cheaty way. We'll have to see in the next NWA Power how they will handle no longer being champions. Speaking of champion, we have Sasha Banks, the women's division champion, and she faces Thunder Rosa, who she defeats in 11 minutes by submission. Makes defense number 1 officially. Doesn't do too bad. Gave the crowd a breather. It's a 65 for Sasha and a 51 for Thunder Rosa. We did it as just sort of a breather match, just to kind of cool down from the brawl. And it overall did its job, but it went a little too long. And we do have our match with Eddie Edwards, who we loaned the NWA Heritage National title. and he fights Eli Drake, who won the Battle Royal earlier, to get his chance to fight him. And despite having been in a match already, Eli Drake defeats Eddie Edwards in 13 minutes by pinfall and wins the national heavyweight title. They had great chemistry, which is interesting. Got the crowd buzzing. Eddie Edwards had a 66 and Eli Drake had a 49. Not bad. 61 overall is pretty good as we're getting up to the top of the card here. That's looking pretty good. Afterwards, we have a victory celebration where Eli Drake celebrates his win and his title victory, holding it out to the crowd, kind of pandering to the crowd a little bit in a heelish way, which comes across really well with his high entertainment score. This could have gone better. We have a triple threat for the Carl's Jr. Presents NWA North American title. It's Pillman, Marty Scurll, and Icarus. It's decent wrestling, but did not have much heat. Marty Scurll defeats Brian Pillman Jr. and Icarus in 11 minutes when Marty Scurll defeated Icarus by pinfall after using a foreign object when the ref was distracted. We also had Brody King distracting Pillman Jr., forcing him to be unable to break the pinfall after Marty Scurll slammed Icarus in the head, probably with that umbrella, I would imagine. And Marty Scurll, despite being a cheat, wins the North American title. Icarus was the weak link, struggling. Pillman was really off his game here. Everyone was off tonight, which is unfortunate. Got the crowd hotter. Overall, though, still not too bad. Pillman actually, despite being off, had a higher in-ring performance than Marty, which is telling. Interesting. It did lose heat for Brian Pillman, runs into a villain storyline. Though this is sort of just the beginning of that. We will build up to it. But interesting dynamic here now. All of Villain Enterprise have titles. Marty Scurll has our mid-card title, the North American. The PCO and Brody King have the tag titles. So it's looking like the Villain Enterprise's invasion is working very well for them, despite this underperforming match where Marty won it. We have an exhibition match with Brody Lee versus James Storm. It does better. Not great, but better. Brody Lee ends up defeating James Storm in 11 minutes with a pile driver. Brody Lee everyone's off their game tonight. What the hell happened? Brody Lee had a 50. James Storm had a 48. It's a D+, just barely under a C there, unfortunately. Afterwards, after Brody Lee's win, Paul Pinky George and members of the Villain Enterprises come out to harass him, gang up and attack him, obviously paying retribution for Brody Lee snubbing Paul Pinky George III in the past, and he's using his new hired muscle to abuse his power and abuse Brody, I suppose. It does pretty well overall. I mean, it's, again, just a little under a C, but Brody Unhinged storyline does advance and gains heat, which is good, and we start to build this sort of anti-hero dynamic for Brody Lee as he comes up against the heel authority figure in NWA. Finally, we have our main event in a steel cage where if Nick Aldis fails to win, he will never challenge again. And Nick Aldis goes into the cage. This is a classic cage match in NWA. We do not do the escape, so there is no escaping. It is just locked in, keeping Villain Enterprises away from the match, forcing Tim Storm and Nick Aldis to fight. Decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling, unfortunately. Nick Aldis does defeat Tim Storm in the cage match in 15 minutes by pinfall, after being turned on, because Marty Scurll comes to the ring, does some shenanigans, and actually turns on Tim Storm, distracting him and allowing Nick Aldis to win, and thus winning the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Got the crowd buzzing. That's unfortunate. We have two turns kind of being teased here, and neither of them went very well. Nick Aldis had a 47. Tim Storm had a 26. Afterwards, we have a segment where Villain Enterprise comes out, completely turns on Tim Storm, and aligns with Nick Aldis, who apparently has paid them off or something. And basically, Tim Storm is left cast aside from the original team and alliance. You have to wonder where his place is now and where Nick Aldis's place is as Villain Enterprises takes up arms for him. We do want to... So this is going to bomb, but we are turning Nick Aldis heel. Complete disaster. We are not going to turn Tim Storm yet. That's unfortunate because Nick Aldis does play a great heel. We will have to deal with that. Tim Storm, I'm a little concerned. We will keep him a heel for now, but I did want to move him over to a face, but maybe it's just too soon. I don't know why, but that's unfortunate. We used Brody King too much for the show. Yeah, probably. He was on there a lot. We gained popularity in 25 regions. We did pretty great, though. Overall, I do want to give some encouragement. Who underperformed in that match? That was kind of shocking. Who was it? I don't remember who it was now. Jeez. It was in the Battle Royal, I think. I mean, everyone kind of underperformed, which was kind of odd, but I don't remember who it was now. It's fine. I'll give Nick Aldis a hug. He's going to need it after that poor face turn. And we'll give Eli Drake a little bit of a... We'll give positive right now. Everyone will be happy. Yeah, we're going to deal with that that bad turn some way or another, but it's going to be rough. I'm afraid to see what we're looking at here, but let's take a look at what we got. Eddie Edwards is left after losing his match. That's fine. And James Storm's upset about his booking. He can build some momentum. I think we can do something with him. That's fine. Into the Fire got a .004. Yeah, not bad. And Colt Cabana wants to have Ricky Starks under his wing, kind of. I think actually it might be a bad idea to put them together. Not bad overall. Nick Aldis is a little upset about his turn. I'm going to give him a bonus. Give him a $2,500 bonus to make him feel a little bit better. That should make him happy. Just say, hey, sorry, bud, listen, it didn't go the way our writers expected. It'll be fine. That makes me concerned for the storyline I was going to build, as I was going to kind of do, maybe not necessarily a double face turn, but I was going to turn Tim Storm slowly face as he realizes that all his friends have abandoned him, and without the belt, he is nothing. And how do we build up a road to redemption for him and turn him good? Obviously, in the real world, in NWA, Nick Aldis has played a perpetual heel, but in our alternate version, he's kind of been the champion for Billy Corgan and all that area for quite a while. So I thought it'd be interesting if we flipped it here for a little bit and gave him the title and made him a heel and made him align maybe even with Pinky George, or maybe not. We don't know what's going on there. But I thought it would be interesting to see how that dynamic played out. Overall, though, I think for our first pay-per-view for the new season, pretty good. Pretty happy with it. We have Power tomorrow, which we'll have to book. Overall, not too bad. And obviously, with the title changes, some interesting dynamics going on with the Carl Jr.'s belt and the tag team championships. I think we have some interesting things going ahead for us as we lead into the 2020 season, going into the NWA save. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.